Namaskar. Today we will see blood supply of heart. First we will see the arterial supply. The heart is concerned with receiving and pumping of blood. But this blood is of no value to the muscles of heart. For example, the left ventricle have a thickness of about 12 millimeter, but the blood present in left ventricle can't even supply half millimeter of the muscles. So heart requires the blood supply, and the arteries supplying the heart are called as coronary arteries. They are two, right coronary and left coronary. They are branches of the ascending aorta, and these coronary arteries supply the various parts of heart. These arteries gives three types of branches. Arterial branches, they supply the atria. Ventricular branches supply the ventricles, and the third type of branches are the interventricular branches, which supply the interventricular septum. The right coronary artery is smaller, while the left coronary artery is larger. Right coronary artery begins from anterior aortic sinus, while the left coronary artery begins from left posterior aortic sinus. These aortic sinuses are the spaces above the aortic valves. The aortic orifice is guarded by semilunar valves having three cusps, one anterior and two posterior, and between the ascending aorta and the cusp there are coronary sinuses. The right coronary artery begins from anterior aortic sinus, while left coronary artery begins from left posterior aortic sinus, and no coronary artery begins from the right posterior aortic sinus. So right posterior aortic sinus is also called as non-coronary sinus. The right coronary artery, after starting from anterior aortic sinus, passes between pulmonary trunk and the right auricle. First it goes towards the right and forward, and then it descends in the right anterior part of the coronary sulcus. It winds around the inferior border of heart, and then it passes in the right posterior part of the coronary sulcus. It reaches up to crux of heart. This point is crux of heart. This is the meeting point between interatrial groove, posterior interventricular groove, and the left and right posterior parts of the coronary sulcus. In 60% cases, the right coronary artery just crosses the crux, while in 10% it reaches only up to inferior border. In another 10% cases, it goes up in between, midway between inferior border and the crux, and in remaining 20% cases, it traverses the left posterior part of the coronary sulcus. The left coronary artery begins from left posterior aortic sinus, then it passes laterally towards the left side between pulmonary trunk and the left auricle. The left coronary artery is shorter. Immediately it divides into two branches, the circumflex artery and the anterior interventricular artery. So right coronary artery is longer in course and left coronary artery is shorter. The atrial branches of the right coronary artery from the first segment supply the right atrium, and from the second segment they supply right atrium as well as left atrium, means the posterior surfaces. The left coronary artery by its circumflex branch supply the posterior surface of left atrium. The left coronary artery divides into two terminal branches. One is anterior interventricular artery. It runs in anterior interventricular groove, while the circumflex branch winds around the left border and then it passes in the left posterior part of coronary sulcus and it makes anastomosis with terminal part of right coronary artery. So the circumflex branch gives atrial branches to posterior surface of left atrium. The first atrial branch of the right coronary artery passes behind right auricle and goes in front of superior vena cava to supply the SA node. In 65% cases, SA nodal artery is branch of right coronary artery, while in 35% cases it comes from circumflex artery. The SA nodal branch of the circumflex artery passes in front of right auricle to supply the SA node. The anterior interventricular artery is branch of left coronary artery. It runs in anterior interventricular groove. It crosses the inferior border of heart and then makes anastomosis with posterior interventricular artery. Posterior interventricular artery is branch of right coronary artery and it runs in posterior interventricular groove. The anterior interventricular artery gives ventricular branches to supply sternocostal surface of right ventricle as well as left ventricle, while the posterior interventricular artery, which is branch of right coronary, gives ventricular branches to supply diaphragmatic surface of right ventricle and left ventricle. The right coronary artery also gives ventricular branches. The first ventricular branch of right coronary artery supply the infundibulum and it is called as right conus artery, while the ventricular branch from the anterior interventricular artery, the first branch, also supply infundibulum of right ventricle. It is called as left conus artery. The anterior interventricular artery supply anterior 2/3, anterosuperior 2/3 of interventricular septum, while posterior interventricular artery supply posterior-inferior 1/3 of interventricular septum. There are two marginal arteries. Along the inferior border of heart, there is right marginal artery, which is branch of right coronary artery, while along the left border of heart, there is left marginal artery, which is branch of circumflex artery. Circumflex artery is branch of left coronary artery. There is only one diagonal artery. It is the ventricular branch of the anterior interventricular artery. Sometimes the diagonal artery arises from left coronary artery. In that case, left coronary divides into three branches. One, anterior interventricular artery, second, diagonal artery, and the third, circumflex artery. If the posterior interventricular artery arises from the right coronary, as occurs in about 80 to 90% cases, then that is called as right coronary predominance. While in 10 to 20% cases, the posterior interventricular artery comes from circumflex artery, and that condition is called as left coronary predominance. The anterior interventricular artery is also called as left anterior descending artery, and it is commonly involved in the myocardial infarction. So it is also called as artery of sudden death. In atherosclerosis, there is narrowing of lumen of the artery, and sometimes there occurs discomfort or feeling of pressure behind the sternum or pain in the left precordium, and that condition is called as angina pectoris. The pain in angina occurs usually on exertion, but it is relieved after rest. In myocardial infarction, the myocardial ischemia is much more. It leads to cellular necrosis. There is intense pain lasting for long duration. The myocardial infarction is also called as MI or heart attack. It is an emergency. It requires urgent medical intervention. In myocardial infarction, the pain radiates to medial aspect of arm and forearm because of nerve supply. The heart is supplied by T1, T2, T3, T4 segments of the spinal cord, and that's why the pain radiates to medial side of arm and forearm. Angiography is a radiological procedure to see the blockage in the coronary arteries. In angioplasty, the blockage is dilated by using the stent, while in coronary bypass surgery, a vein graft is used. The coronary artery diseases are less fatal in old age because with the advancement of age, there is increase in collateral circulation and the anastomosis. Now we will see the venous drainage of heart. Heart is drained by three main veins: the coronary sinus, the anterior cardiac veins, and the veni cordis minimi. They are also called as miniature cardiac veins. They are present in all chambers of heart, and they opens in all chambers. For example, in right atrium, these are the openings called as foramina, venerum, minimarum. There are 3 to 4 anterior cardiac veins, and these anterior cardiac veins drains the sternocostal surface of right ventricle, and they open in the rough anterior part of the right atrium. The largest vein of heart is the coronary sinus. It drains about 60% of the venous blood of heart. The coronary sinus is present in the left posterior part of coronary sulcus. Coronary sulcus means atrioventricular groove, and this part of coronary sulcus lies between left atrium and left ventricle. The coronary sinus opens in the right atrium of heart, and the opening lies in between inferior vena cava and the right AV orifice, The opening of coronary sinus is guarded by semicircular valve. This valve of coronary sinus is also called as Thebesian valve. It is derived from crista terminalis, and the coronary sinus itself is derived from left horn of the sinus venosus. This is the sinus venosus and this is the left horn which give rise to coronary sinus. The coronary sinus have various tributaries. The great cardiac vein lies in the anterior interventricular groove. It curves around the left border of heart and opens in the left end of the coronary sinus, while the small cardiac vein lies in the right anterior part of coronary sulcus, winds around the inferior border of heart and then runs in right posterior part of coronary sulcus and opens at right end of the coronary sinus. The left marginal vein either opens in the small cardiac vein or it may open into the coronary sinus. The middle cardiac vein lies in the posterior interventricular groove. It opens in coronary sinus just on the left side of the opening of small cardiac vein. This is the left ventricle diaphragmatic surface, and the posterior vein of left ventricle runs on diaphragmatic surface of left ventricle and opens into coronary sinus on the left side of opening of the middle cardiac vein. There is one oblique vein of left atrium. It is also called as vein of Marshall. It crosses the posterior surface of left atrium obliquely and opens near the right end of the coronary sinus. So all these are tributaries of coronary sinus. The oblique vein of left atrium is derived from left common cardinal vein, which is also called as left duct of Cuvier. Thank you.